All of these things that I'm trying to do, I cannot do it, just I'm at the next time, I'm just cause I come out of your cause I don't pray, I don't pray.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody is great. Thank you for joining us on this space. This hot, sunny Sunday evening. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. The weather's a bit hot today, so hope you guys, be relaxing somewhere. Maybe a cold weather, maybe a cold drink or something. So we're going to be having a space this evening talking about the essentials of financial security and intelligence self. Very, very important. This topic is something I've been planning for a while, and I'm grateful that we have one of our wonderful sisters in our community, Sister Arit, intelligence boss, who's putting space together to make sure we have something like this Sunday evening itself as well. Very, very important. We have these conversations to enlighten ourselves as Nigerians in the UK community at all times as well. Also, glad we have our guest speaker on here, Mr. Festus Akinriche. Glad to have him on board to come and educate us and enlighten us on this space this evening. So please share the space on your TL. Let's get more people on board. Let's talk about this conversation regarding everything, of course, insurance, income protection, life-changing decisions that we need to get right in this part of the world itself. So I'm just going to give the mic to, well, before I introduce our guest speaker, I'm just going to give the mic to Sister Arit to just introduce herself to the members of the audience. Sister Arit, happy Sunday. How are you today? The mic is yours.
President, good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am very well, and Sunday is going on great. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, thank you very much, Taris. Thank you. Also, we have our guest speaker on here this evening. Mr. Festus Akishi himself. Glad to have him on the space. Good evening, sir. Today, how are you, sir? Today, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. President, and thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful program. It's a great pleasure.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. So let's get the space up and running because of time. We don't know hold you first. So my first question to you would be, of course, not many people know you in your community. So is it possible to just for 5 minutes, just can you please introduce yourself to us? Tell us about your experience, your company, what your company does, and of course the body that regulates your activity in the UK. Just enlighten us more. So know more exactly about yourself. The mic is yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Festus Ariche. And I've been working in financial services in the UK for over almost 2 decades now, in this country. And I'm the managing principal and the executive director of Eminent Financial. Eminent Financial Limited is appointed representative of Open Work Partnership. And of course, in the last 20 years of my career in financial services, I've seen a lot, and of course, I've been able to help a lot of people to secure their future financially, putting the right foundation in place to protect their family as well. In Eminent Financial, as a firm, as part of Open Work, we are preeminent in giving exceptional service with supreme quality to our clients across the country, United Kingdom. And our primary aim is to provide the most comprehensive, the most affordable, and of course, exceptional service to both individuals, who are members of this platform, for example, and families. We also work with the private clients and small to medium-sized firms, providing financial advice, particularly in the area of business protection. And we are driven by the pursuit of excellence in our firm. And our desire, is to make sure that we help everybody to get to that point of being financially secured. Our business attitude reflects customer centrism, and we strongly believe that the customers are the queens and the kings of our business. And our custom, of course, powered by trust, desire, truthfulness, and modernization. So we have formidable national coverage of advisors all over the country. We have advisors in Scotland, in Wales, in England. And of course, Northern Ireland is a work in progress. And of course, that means we can provide advice to all these individuals that live in any part of this country in United Kingdom. And in terms of regulation, of course, as a financial advisory firm in the UK and part of being Open Work, one of the largest networks in the UK, we are regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, not just the firm, but individual advisors, that work in the firm. So that will be just a summary about myself and, of course, and the firm that I work for. In Eminent Financial, the major 3 pillars that we work with, in helping people to secure financial security is through protection, which is the bedrock of financial planning. And of course, helping people to secure their home, to secure finance, to buy their property, that is mortgages, both commercial mortgages, for buy-to-let properties or for residential mortgages, for individual mortgages. And of course, we are wealth advisory firm. That means we help people to accumulate wealth in a very tax-efficient way. And not only that, we also help them to deaccumulate the wealth at the right time in a very tax-efficient way. And that is what wealth management is all about. So that is just a brief about myself and, of course, about the company that I work for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Festus. I'm very happy to have you. And I can see you have a really great depth of experience. The second question, although you have answered it a bit, but I want you to answer it in details now. What does it mean to be financially intelligent? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for that question. Intelligence is just a kind of a simple way to put it is having the understanding and, of course, the knowledge of how to manage your finances effectively. So intelligence from the word wisdom, knowledge, understanding, application of knowledge to make sure that, of course, you get the best, out of the financial services by being in charge and in control of your own finances. And in that process, that means you're able to make informed decisions about anything that has to do with your money. And because money is your blood, money is your time, money is your oxygen that you breathe in. Money is everything that, of course, you can use as a measure, of what you've achieved so far. And, in financial intelligence, involve things like understanding the basic principle of budgeting. And how do you invest wisely? And how do you maximize the various options or financial options available in the economy? And how do you take part? How do you get your own share in this economy? To say this clearly, United Kingdom is a well-blessed economy. There's so much money in this country. And it is the financial intelligence that will help you to get your share out of the money in this country in a legitimate way. So financial intelligence, of course, complements the ability to achieve financial security, because without the knowledge and the information to achieve financial security will be very, very tough for individual. And one of the fastest way of getting this is to speak to professionals who are trained, to help and to guide in this particular journey of gathering information and being well informed about the choices that are available under financial services. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your submission. Listen, the truth about life is that you learn every day in life. It's just that simple. Some of these things you probably, even if you read them online, you don't have a clarity of exactly what you're reading. But it's actually nice to hear from the horse's mouth to make life a lot more easier that way as well. Thank you for answering some of our questions so far. The next
You
question
were.
I'll put up to you, sir, would be, of course, we have to talk about the financial, the wealth security. So, what are some of the key essentials? Because maybe you could just take us like maybe like a 1 year old, 2 years old child who's learning about 15. So exactly what are some of the key essentials to when you want to ensure financial and wealth security? And of course, a lot of people will ask the question, okay, fine, even when you've accumulated some of these finances and wealth security, how can you protect your wealth? I think that's the key factor a lot of people worried about. How can we protect your wealth, sir? The mic is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. That's a very broad question, and I would like us to break it down into pieces. You only have you need a protection for what you have already, isn't it? So your wealth and your belongings, I mean the things that you have that belongs to you that make up your wealth, how do you gather them? How do you build them? Because initially you talk about what are the essentials of ensuring that we are able to attain financial security or wealth security. And I will start from the angle that it's actually a point or a destination in our life, and where we have, of course, been able to maintain our lifestyle, to live a very good life, without working. That means at that particular point in time, your passive income, of course, is enough to maintain your lifestyle. I will come back to this later shortly. Then talking about how do you protect your wealth, before I say anything, let me just quickly, kind of make a disclaimer here. I'm a financial advisor, but on this program, I'm not offering financial advice. I'm only offering financial information. And if you want to make any decision, please speak to a professional, speak to a financial advisor who can help you and, of course, who can guide you. A lot of people have lost the little wealth they've gathered because the fundamental principle of wealth management is diversification. And, it's just a simple say of don't put your egg in one basket. Putting your egg in one basket basically means that if there's any issue with that basket, that means you lose everything. So one of the best way of protecting your wealth is, of course, is to practice what we call diversification of wealth. That is to say, to spread your wealth across the various financial and asset classes that is available, globally, not just in the country that you live in. And at the same time, of course, protecting your wealth starts from this common topic that we always run away from, which is protection. Protection, we believe in financial services, is the bedrock of financial planning, is the bedrock of wealth management. You might have all the money in this world, but if you don't have adequate protection, if there's any little risk that affects your protection or your wealth, rather, you might actually lose everything. So another way of protecting your wealth is actually to have adequate insurance or protection in place. That basically means you are transferring such liabilities to a company who is willing, to pay for the loss or the losses that might happen, to your wealth. And talking about our wealth, our fundamental wealth is actually you and your ability to actually earn income. If you're unable to work, for example, now, how do you maintain your lifestyle? And as a matter of fact, now taking us back to the initial discussion or question around how do you ensure financial security or wealth security? And I want to define wealth security or financial security as a point in our life that we don't have to work anymore, that passive income, of course, is enough to kind of take care of ourselves. And the major sources of passive income is, of course, return on your investment, which we're talking about at the moment. Profit from the business, if you run a business, and interest on your savings. So these are the three major passive income that you have. And we say we use the word passive in the sense that you don't have to be there yourself. Because at the moment that we are working, if you're in a working age, you are selling your time and you are selling your knowledge. That basically means, we are in our earning period of our life, in our earning age. And the way you spend or you manage the resources that you gather from this or any age will determine the kind of life you will have, towards end of life or retirement. So financial security or wealth security can also be kind of explained as at the point, in quote, when you retire. Because when you retire, that means you are not working anymore. That means you are not selling your time anymore. You are not selling your knowledge anymore. For example, if you're a medical doctor, the reason why you get paid every month or every week or whenever you get paid is because you have the knowledge of medicine, and at the same time, you have the time to apply the knowledge of medicine to help people in the hospital. So at the end of the day, you get paid. But we all know this fact, we are not going to work forever. So the foundation of protecting your wealth starts from the point of protecting you and your ability to be able to continuously earn that income in case you're unable to work. And in life, there are three things, or more than three things, of course, that can stop us, from being able to kind of earn such income. For example, accident, sickness, and the worst is actually death. So all these three things can really stop you, of course, from achieving your dream or your goal in terms of financial security or wealth. So the fact now is that when you are working, there's a percentage of your income that you need to put aside to help you to get to that journey of financial security. And there's no way we can talk about financial security by not even talking about the principle of financial intelligence. The principle of financial intelligence is just like the rule of thumb of money, that how should we spend our money? You see, when you have guidelines or when you have processes in place, of course, anything is achievable. Under the principle of financial intelligence, I know it's a controversial topic of giving 10% of your income to charity. And of course, 10% of your income is to help people that are in need in practical way. And at the same time, the 10% of your income you need to pay yourself. I'm also a Nigerian myself, and I know ourselves and I know my people. We work too hard, but are we really looking after ourselves? We need to kind of enjoy what we work for. You need to enjoy your own sweat by working so hard. So that means 10% of your income is to help you to live a good life, to kind of give yourself a bit of a treat. And the next 10% be minimum, of course, you say, but if you can increase this percentage to about 40%, that will really help you to quickly get to that point of being financially secure, because your speed of journey to the point of being financially secured is the percentage of your income that you invest or you save. But no matter how bad things are, you should never save or invest less than 10% of your income in order for you to get to that point of being financially secured. And the big elephant in the room is basically about how we spend our money on lifestyle. That is paying rent, mortgage, school fees, our bills. We complain about all this all the time. But this principle says that we should not spend more than 65% of our income on lifestyle. Because if you do that, of course, that means you are going to affect the other percentage, and invariably that will affect your goal of getting to that point of being financially secured. On a daily basis, our objective is to look for a way to reduce what we spend on our lifestyle. But this is to say, for example, now, how do you cut down your utility bill? By monitoring the way you spend your money, and that is through the power of budgeting. But of course, if you are living beyond your means, for example, now people that live in very expensive city, that they could still kind of start their life in living in share accommodation, they want to kind of live on their own, and that basically means more than 70% of their income goes into paying rent. And how do you survive in such a situation when you spend a chunky size of your income to pay rent or to maintain your lifestyle? And of course, the last part of our income, which is 5%, if you're following my conversation about this subject, is to be spent to protect yourself. You see, the 5% is like the bodyguard or the gate man that will prevent poverty, creeping into your life by making sure that if there's any potential loss in all these percentage areas, at least if you're unable to earn that income anymore, that 5% is to guarantee you and to take you back to where you were meant to be. For example, now, if you're unable to work due to sickness or accident, you could get a regular income that pays a salary. And I have a lot of clients, of course, that are benefiting from this particular product under insurance that pays a regular income, even though they've been unable to work for over 10 years. I mean, 10 years. Some of them are over 5 years. They've been unable to work because of illness. But if this protection was not put in place, of course, we know what could have happened to them financially. And at the same time, in terms of securing the future of people that depends on us is an element, in fact, major element in the aspect of financial planning, because financial planning is a combination of the wisdom of how to spend your money and having a goal in place of where you want to get to in terms of being financially secured. So coming back to the explanation on the principle of financial security, the more you invest, the more you put into place for the future, the quicker you get to that point of being financially secured. I wouldn't know how much time we have because I would like to come with some example later, if that permits, Mr. President.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Festus, for answering that question from Mr. President. That was quite deep. And yes, you've really given a detailed answer on that. I'm going to, from that question, you talked about protection, you talked about insurance, you talked about managing your resources, and then very key was protecting you and your ability to be able to earn income. And that's very, very key because I know some people that have been sick, cannot pay mortgage, and then the bank has had to repossess the house, and then they're back to square one because of ill health and all that. So that will lead me to the next question, which is NIUK, which is Nigerian in the UK community. It's a very large community, and we have young people who have goals, who have aspirations, and who have desires to be financially secure. Now, can you tell us the various protection policies that is available to us and their benefits? Over to you, Mr. Festus. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very, very much. The subject of protection or insurance, is a very, very interesting one. I will put it this way, insurance is a common sense that is not common. And I always say this, that insurance is like a parachute, right? If you don't have it when you needed it, it is too late because you cannot get it anymore. And in terms of adversity, maybe if somebody should suffer accident, or they are unwell, or they are seriously ill, or even the worst happen death, someone is going to pay. The question is this: do you want to be the one to pay, or your family to pay, or you want the insurance company to pay? I think the common sense that I was talking about is about allowing insurance company to pay to take care of those liabilities, for you and on behalf of your family. So there are various products that can be used, of course, in financial planning and advice to achieve the various objectives of attaining financial security through protection. The first one, which is probably most common product or very popular product, is life insurance that people call life cover. Actually, the product that has to do with protecting individual life and your ability to be human, they fall under the category of life insurance. But I will use the life cover, to explain this particular type of product I'm talking about. Life cover pays a lump sum of money, or it could be a regular income of money to your family if the policyholder, of course, should die or terminally ill. When you are terminally ill, it basically means that a medical practitioner has confirmed that the person has less than 12 months to live. So that means if you have a life cover will pay a lump sum of money to secure the future of your family. And having a life insurance does not really mean that, of course, you are actually, digging your own grave or death is coming your way. It's not about that. It's about saying this, that, look, I'm a father, I'm a mother. My children depends on me financially. My wife or my husband or other way that depends on you financially. And you are speaking the language of love to them, that even though I'm with you today, I love you so much. If by tomorrow I should leave you, I will still love you. And a way to prove your love to the people you love is, of course, having a life cover that will give them a cushion, a reasonable size of money that will replace the money they will have spent or they will have given, to the individual to maintain their lifestyle. For example, if a father should pass on, the mortgage will still be paid. Of course, the bills will still be paid. So how do you expect your children to have their education completed if anything should happen to you as an individual? So that is one of the common sense that is not common, because if you genuinely love your children, you love your spouse, either your wife or your husband, of course, you want to arrange a life cover to pay them in case of death. Because all of us, every single individual, so far you are living, one day we're all going to die. But we don't just know when it's going to happen. Since we don't have an answer about when it's going to happen, it is the common sense that says that you must have something like that, to secure the future of your family. And the life cover aspect number one is to secure the future of the family. The other aspect is about any debt that you acquired when you are on life. Your debt should not live longer than you. And how do you do that? It's also through life cover. So that means your mortgage is probably one of your biggest debts, or credit card and loans and things like that. Of course, you don't want that to kind of live longer than you, making sure that your debts are paid with a life benefit in case of death. That is one aspect of insurance product that we can, of course, optimize to secure the future of our family and to get to that point of being financially secured. The second aspect is called the critical illness cover, or of course, some company call it serious illness cover. So basically, the word serious, the word critical basically means that you are suffering from a medical condition that, of course, is very critical, is very severe. So things like cancer. And cancer is a demon, and I'm not really comfortable talking about this because I see this every day happening. And according to Cancer Research UK, of course, with the research they did sometimes ago, that 1 out of 2 people born after 1960 is bound to have one form of cancer during their lifetime. So it's scary. I see this all the time. So things like stroke, heart attack, coma, third-degree burns, Jacob disease, a lot of serious conditions, even losing of your sight or inability to work or total permanent disability. So the number of critical illness covered, vary from one provider to another. But of course, the point is that if any of these things should happen, it means it's going to affect your life, in a very, very negative way. That is to say, affect your finances. Because if somebody is critically ill, even though you can work, but mentally you are not there because of the emotional pain of the diagnosis. So critical illness is to help you to readjust your life. And not only that, to take care of your family by paying your bills, your debt in particular, at the same time to be able to kind of fund a change in your lifestyle should you've been diagnosed of this condition. I'm not saying the condition has to lead to death. It is at the point of diagnosis. And I've had clients in the past that they were diagnosed of this serious condition, they survived it. So it's like they just got free money. But during the period of diagnosis, that basically means, of course, there will be need for a change. There will be need to pay some bills, or they may not be able to do a lot of stuff like going to work or even lose their source of income. That is number 2 level of protection that every individual, of course, should qualify to have. Either you are married or single, we all need critical illness cover. So far, you are over the age of course, 18, insurable age in this country. The third aspect, is protecting your income, which means protecting you and your ability to earn income. If I was talking about our most important asset in our life, some people say it's their car or their house. The truth is that the most important asset that we have is our ability to earn income. And I always say things to professionals in particular, you spend a number of years in the university to acquire a qualification. You've spent so many years in training to practice your professional job, and something now eats you during that process, and you're unable to practice that profession that you've spent about 10 or 15 years of your life to acquire, that qualification. It doesn't make sense if there's no compensation for you. I have a client, of course, that suffered stroke at a very early age, at the age of 36. This particular client, of course, probably one of the most healthy person I can think of. But things do happen. But this particular person doesn't have to worry about paying their bills because the income protection pays regular income to them every month. If that should happen to you, what impact will it have on your family finances? I know that the lenders, they don't really care about if you are, unwell or anything's happened to you. They want their mortgage, they want the loan to be paid back. So that means having income protection basically means you have secured the future of your family and your lifestyle by having a regular income that will be paid to you every month. And this can be paid to you to your choosing retirement age. For example, now if you are 30 years old and you have income protection and you plan to retire at the age of 70, that means in the next 40 years, you could be paid a regular income every month to replace the income that you've lost. That is number 3. Number 4, of course, accidental injury protection or accident protection product pays a lump sum in case of accidental injury. And these products in combination have a lot of other aspects that are optional or additional benefits. For example, now you've been admitted in the hospital, you could get paid up to 1,000 days, with one of the providers. That is to say, any medical condition that will keep you in the hospital, either at a go or continuously, you are covered up to 1,000 days throughout the time of the pandemic. That means you could be paid up to £250,000 in case you are being admitted in the hospital. So there are a lot of products in these three major categories, and these three major categories can be applied, to protect or to cushion a potential loss due to a lot of risk that we face every day. And not only limited to individuals. For example, now, if you have a small business, or you are a self-employed person, or you are a contractor, or you have a small business, all these products can also be applied to help you to mitigate against potential risks to your business. We've seen people that their business closed down just because something happened to them. But insurance can take care of this potential loss, not just for your family and also for your business. And of course, like I said, if you're having any commitment like a mortgage or loan, your loan need to be insured so that if anything should happen to you, the money will be paid back to you. So that will be the four categories I'll be talking about. The others, like a redundancy cover, if you lose your job, because we cannot offer advice here. Of course, advice is personal. By the time you speak to a financial advisor, they'll be able to guide you on the best options of products that meet your need, because insurance is not like you are buying tomato or you are buying clothes in the market. You need to understand what you need, because a lot of people just think that, well, if I have 50,000 life insurance, it's enough for me, or I must have 2 million life insurance. No. Let a financial advisor guide you about the level of cover that is appropriate to you and to your family. And of course, based on what you can afford, they will go into the market and choose the best provider, of course, and make the most appropriate provider to meet your need in that particular area. And Rome is not built in a day. And I always say this, instead of you waiting for that perfect time that you can afford protection or take protection, it's always good to start with something little. And according to Association of British Insurers, just about 10% of the UK population currently have their income protected. That is very scary. So that means people that are employed, about 90% of their income, about 90% of them, their income is not protected. For critical illness, just a little bit lower than 30% of people have critical illness. So that means 70% of people do not have critical illness. And like every 2 minutes in this country, somebody is, of course, is suffering from stroke or that kind of a thing. These things happen in reality. And at the same time, for life cover, maybe just a little bit over 67% have life insurance. And at the same time, 2 out of 3 people that are supposed to be insured in this country, that is, they reach the age of insurable age and they have a need to be protected, they are not insured. So that basically means that the statistics I gave earlier only applicable to 1/3 of the people that are insured. That means the remaining 2/3, they don't have any element of this protection. So the protection gap in this country is very huge. And I want to say thank you very much to the organizer of this event, because it is a very important topic to talk about, because everybody is exposed. Even you that think, yes, I have insurance already. If you don't have your insurance, it's your problem. It is my problem that someone is not insured, because if you're my friend, if you're my brother, if you're my neighbor, if you're my church member, if you are part of my community, if anything happened to you, I'm going to be affected. And of course, I know we've done a lot of GoFundMe in the past, and this should not happen or should not be an occurrence in our community. If there's a need for GoFundMe, it's not just because we want to support the family that have been bereaved, because it's even embarrassing, to be honest, doing a GoFundMe for people that live in this country when you could take the advantage of being responsible to secure the future of a family by just making a bit of a sacrifice. Insurance is a rent. You pay the rent, you enjoy the house. So thank you very much, once again, the organizer, for organizing this event, because I'm really feeling, the need and the importance of having this kind of discussion in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you much, sir. Wow, I've actually noted a few things you've just said, and all the points you've said absolutely spot on. So since 2020, for the last 8 months, I've been to about 5 different funerals from areas of our community here in the UK itself, and everyone, the sad part is we've actually had to raise a GoFundMe. In fact, just last month we had a younger sister of us, just 26 years old, Victoria, who passed away. And we also had to raise a GoFundMe for her. In fact, we actually reached out to some companies. Thank God the likes of Lemfi also supported us, gave us some funds regarding the burial for the young lady itself. So now, just going on as Nigerians, obviously everything you talked about, we seem to, I don't know, somehow when we talk about insurance is something that our people don't really take serious. You know, when people talk about, oh, maybe I have a life insurance, God forbid, no, me, I'll live long, go, this and that. But the truth is, that is something that we all can run away from. Maybe you like it or not, it's going to happen a day. You understand? And especially as people who have children and family, you also want your loved ones to, even when you pass away, if anything happens to you, you're in a better place, that kind of stuff. So my just take is, you as an expert when it comes to this insurance itself, I don't know what kind of advice you can give to us, because we have a few discussions in our community when it comes to life insurance. How can it work? So, for example, we have a subscription our community is about £12 a year. That works at £1 in a month, and of course, it comes to a few benefits as well. But the long term, I'm also getting a state that I can see myself that how long are we going to keep on doing the GoFundMe for people that passed away in our community? Would you advise and say, is it possible? Is it something that's done before? And we have over 20,000 members in the Nigerian UK community, for example. Is it possible that we could have a life insurance policy for every member who's in a community? And of course, this policy doesn't come cheap. So, for example, any paying member in our community will be automatically um, be put under that policy. So even though maybe you don't have a life insurance, okay, once you're a member of the NIK community, you're also covered with a life insurance policy. So I don't know if it's something that is possible or maybe it's not possible. I mean, I'm also here to learn, and I'm sure that people in the space also, want to learn. But you, as an expert, you know better than us when it comes to this kind of stuff. So is this something possible that we can have a life insurance policy for members of our community, like a joint one together? To say, okay, if a member of the Nigerian UK community, we have a policy that covers every one of us for life insurance policy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think you are now asking, or you are seeking, a financial advice now. And we cannot offer you financial advice, but I can talk about your question, in a way that can benefit us. Before I say anything, I want to say thank you very much for your leadership, and for all the ESCO members, and for putting a program like this, for people to listen to. I think the first place to start is where you are now, where you started already, by educating the people. Because financial services or financial advice is personal. It has to be individual. It has to be individual family that kind of make that decision. And coming to the group now, for example, like I said earlier on, that this is looking like a financial advice. In order for us to advise, Nigerian in the UK as an organization, there are some facts that need to be verified or to be confirmed, to be sure that you are qualified to take a group life cover. For example, now, so what is the insurable interest of the association or the ESCO or the members with other members? When we talk about insurable interest, basically means that what impact will somebody's loss have on you as a person, directly, indirectly, that you can actually measure. So we need to establish that, because those are the things the insurance company want to look at. And not only that, a lot of group life cover out there basically require that your member of association, they are on a salary scale. I mean, that they're on salary, your payroll. That means you pay them regular salary. And not only that, of course, they also pay tax on this particular salary. So these are just few out of the factors that need to be considered. But of course, there are other options. There are other ways that you association can help individuals to make the right decision about securing their future, in a way to prevent the aspect of depending on one another financially when anything should happen to us. It is so sad, and with the peace of our brothers and sisters that have left us, continuously to rest in peace. But it is very painful that we are still where we are today. And at times, some of these things, it's not as if people deliberately avoided or ignored, making this kind of decision. It's just because there's no awareness, or because of the myth that, insurance will not pay claims, or, I'm not qualified for this product, I don't need it, or I am invincible because I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I am too spiritual, I fast a lot, I pray a lot. Nobody in my family has died before the age of 120. My father died at the age of 150. These things are true, but the reality is that individual experience in life is totally different from, other people. So in terms of your question about is it possible to arrange a group life cover, I won't be able to give a kind of a specific answer until we kind of verify some facts about the association, about the objective of the group life cover, and about the structure of the organization, and about the modality of the payment. For example, you mentioned something that is very key. Your members pay an annual fee of £1 a month. So that is not a realistic contribution. But I know, of course, it's a new organization, or it's a young organization, or it's a charity organization. So when we look at all these factors, we're able to advise, the leadership of the group or the ESCO of the group, to take discussion further. So what I will say is this: you can seek a financial advice, if you want this to be discussed outside of this, space discussion. But something can be done and something can be looked into in resolving the issue. But my submission, Mr. President, and to everybody listening, is that we need to kind of take up responsibility and to be the one to decide to protect what you have that is important to you. And I always say this generally, that who are the people that need insurance? You need insurance if you have something that is important to protect. For example, now, someone that has a life, that is when you need a life insurance. If you don't have a life, then there's no need for you to have a life cover. And if someone that has income that needs to have income protection, if you don't have a job, then you don't need to have income protection. If you have children, if you have wife, you have husband, if you have a mortgage, you need a mortgage cover. But if you don't have a mortgage, of course, you don't need a mortgage cover. So the fact is this: if you have anything that you love so much in your life that is important to you, that in case anything should happen to you, you might lose them, then you need to protect such potential risk. And no matter what the association is able to do for individual, I don't think that we personally solve all the problem, because I see myself as a member of this organization. By default, I'm a member of this group. So that will not be enough to solve the problem, but we're in the right direction about encouraging our people to stand up for themselves, to stand up for their family. And this generals say that the government doesn't make life insurance compulsory in this country, but they make a car insurance compulsory. It's just a common sense as well. They make car insurance compulsory because if you are a driver in this country, you can, of course, cause an accident that can lead to other people losing their life, losing their properties, and they don't want the third party to suffer in vain. And that is why you need a minimum of third party car insurance for you to be able to drive, because they are protecting the third party. So you now and your family, you are the only, if your family, your children, your wife, your husband, they are not third party to you. They are your life. So we don't need to wait for the government to give us instruction or to pass a law that you must have a life insurance because you have a son or a daughter, or because you are married, or you must have income because you are employed. It is individual and personal responsibility. So outside this, meeting, we can have a discussion, Mr. President, or you can speak to other advisors. Of course, I can signpost you to what the association can do in, of course, getting answers to this question in the form of advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that elaborate answer to that question, Mr. Festus. I'm happy to announce that Mr. Festus has said a lot, and he said, speak to an advisor, speak to an advisor. I'm happy to announce that I'm a practiced financial advisor, and I am more than happy to have a one-to-one free, no obligation consultation with anyone who wants to find out more about all the things we're discussing about right now, or you want to take up any policy. I'm very much happy to assist. So the link is on my bio. You can go there, click on it. There are slots to be booked. Please book the slots before you get out soon. Please book the slots, or please feel free to send me a DM. I'm a Nigerian. I'm one of us. I'm happy to do it. Free, no obligation consultation. Thank you. Mr. Festus, so some people say insurance company look for reasons not to pay claims. What do you have to say about this? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is a very interesting, comment to make. I remember in those early days, as a financial advisor, my client always call us, insurance are legal robbers that, you are being given just the license to take money from people. On the contrary, insurance companies are looking for every reasons why they should pay you. Because number one, apart from the regulatory regime of the UK FCA, which is of course, UK market is the most regulated market in the world. For you to conduct any financial business in the whole world, UK is the best place to do because of the heavy regulation. And if you work in the industry, you actually know what I'm talking about, because the FCA, of course, will not compromise or will not leave any stone unturned to protect the customer. So in terms of claims, the insurance company, on the contrary, they are looking for reasons to pay claims. And there are some interesting statistics to prove this, to us as individual. In the whole UK market, according to ABI, about 97% of claims were successful. That is to say, if claims on life cover, critical illness, income, all those personal protection, 97% of claims were successful. So that means the remaining 3% that were not successful could be the fact that somebody is claiming for what they are not qualified for, they are not entitled to. And I can share a story to kind of buttress that. And not only that, some people, they've made a misrepresentation of fact at the point of application. And we always say this, that, of course, if you want to take insurance policy or any financial products that require you giving information about yourself, you have to be honest. You have to be accurate about the information you provided, because if you don't make accurate information or accurate declaration of your health status, of your employment, status and circumstances, of course, that is for underwriting purposes, your policy can be cancelled from the onset if that lie is being found out. And insurance company, they share information. So that basically means that they can blacklist you as an individual in the insurance industry, because they are one community as well. And not only that, what benefit is it for any human being to pay continuously for years with the belief that their family will be secured if anything should happen to them, or for them to be protected if anything should happen to them, and at the point of claim, they all realize that Mr. Man, Mrs. B, you had a blood pressure about 10 years ago, or you are diabetic, or you have this medical condition, but you never told us, you never disclosed that. The onus is on you as individual taking a life insurance or taking any insurance product to disclose and to give accurate information, because the benefit is that, of course, if your claim is being made, your claim will be successful. That is to say, the purpose of the insurance will be met in case anything should happen. And in terms of claim statistics, during COVID, there's a provider that paid over £1 billion for life cover during that COVID. And in fact, I can read out some statistics to us now, which probably the latest so far. In the late 2020, when these figures came, because the next one will be coming up very soon, there are over 6.5 billion paid in death in the UK. Critical illness and income protection. In fact, you'll be shocked to know that 98% of claims was paid, at that particular year. And that means about 6.3 million every day were paid to individual. 51,105 life insurance claims. That is 3,000 people that have had their policy in the past were paid. Critical illness, 90,018. Income protection, 22,542. So these figures they are probably just figures, but the reality is that people are making claims. And the fact is this: a lot of people that have been unable to make a successful claim, the 3% we're talking about, or 2% now, they will be the one to make the noise that insurance doesn't pay, or they will not pay you. But of course, the 97%, 90% that people that have made a successful claim, they don't want to tell you because they don't want to share the money. They keep the money in their pocket and they keep quiet. And that is why we don't talk about claim. I can tell you practically, emphatically, and categorically, my clients are making claim. In fact, there's a particular provider, as out of last year, when we look at our statistics, about 792 claims were paid half of the year for just one single provider from my own line of business. I mean, my own organization, because there's no profit or reward for the provider that will not pay a claim, because it's not good for their image. At the same time, it's a heavily regulated industry that you cannot just do whatever you like. So I will say, as an individual, insurance, they do pay claims, and the claim is paid on a daily basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for those figures. Absolutely, the industry is heavily regulated, highly regulated, and insurance companies do pay claims. And you mentioned something. You mentioned high blood pressure, and it's important to disclose to make your claim valid. And that goes to show that it's important to do your insurance now, rather than when sickness sets in, then it becomes a bit difficult. So it is because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Your health is not guaranteed tomorrow. It is important to do it now. And or let me say, it's more affordable now when we are young as well. All right, that leads us to the next question. So I like this topic, financial security and intelligence. You insure your car, so we can, because it's made compulsory, our cars are insured from say £50 a month to £200, whether you drive it in that month or not, you pay that. Now, financial intelligence tells you to now protect yourself. If you're protecting your car, what about you that is making that money? Financial intelligence says protect yourself, protect your loved ones, protect your family, protect your income, so that, of course, you can be able to protect that car as well. Now, the question is, what is the barrier to people not taking up insurance policies to protect themselves? Because life can happen. Life is not certain. Health is not certain. We can be jumping, we can be healthy now, but we don't know what tomorrow is not guaranteed. So anything can happen. So what is that barrier that is stopping people from taking it up, especially because these policies are actually very affordable? Thank you.
Thank you very much. A very wonderful question. With my experience in this industry, there are millions of reasons why people don't take insurance. And with focus on, of course, our community, the most common one is because of our religious belief. We believe that as a Christian, for example, of course, Jesus Christ will help you or will protect you not from dying. That is actually true. It's a fact. Or as a Muslim, you don't die, or having insurance is haram. So all these excuses about religion, of course, is one of the major barriers or major factor why people don't take insurance. But insurance itself is a financial tool, a financial planning tool. If you can have a mortgage, if you can open a bank account, in fact, you even have a credit card, you have an overdraft. So why not have an insurance? Because if you don't believe in insurance, then you should not believe in mortgage. You should not believe in credit card. You should not believe in having a bank account with your bank, because these are financial tools to help you. It's good to believe in God. I believe in God, and I believe a lot of us believe in God as well. But the fact is this: God that we believe in does not actually come down from heaven to make provision, because there's no any telephone number that you need to call to say, oh, God, send burger to my children, or God, pay my rent or pay my mortgage. It is the materials or resources that are available, because from the beginning of creation, I can tell you categorically that insurance was created because, and I will explain this to you, not to be misunderstood. Nowadays, we fly around the world in aircraft. Now we're having a meeting like this. It's phenomenal that a meeting like this online, we have radio stations, we have TV stations. I'm talking about technology and science. But in the beginning of life, things like this were not available. So does that mean that those things were not available, were not created from the beginning of life? They were created. People are just making discovery of these things. So, in fact, as a matter of fact, religion as a belief should not stop us from taking insurance, because a lot of pastors, a lot of imam, our religious leaders, they have insurance. In fact, as a matter of fact, a lot of religious organizations like churches, they have insurance for their pastors. And these things happen to individuals. And I've seen people that, of course, they suffer these things and their finances was not affected negatively because they've applied the common sense of protecting themselves. So religion should not be impeding factor for us. Another belief is that it is very, very expensive. That is not actually true. One of the reasons that you don't take it is that, oh, it's too expensive. My bills is very high. I'm new in this country. Maybe I should talk about that briefly later. But in terms of cost for insurance, if you have a very good financial advisor, your advisor should guide you that, of course, Rome is not built in a day. You can build your portfolio for protection gradually based on your affordability, what you can afford. You see, there are some policies that's available as little as £5. I don't even think a lot of restaurants in this country now that you can go and, of course, well fed with £5. I really doubt it, £5 is not enough to cut your hair, to barb your hair for the men that do their hair, for women, to kind of come up with that, your beautiful hairstyle. But protection can start as little as that by cutting your coat according to your size. The second reason is that, oh, I have a medical condition already. They decline my father, they decline me before. That does not really apply in the sense that there are some products that are available to you, even though if you have an underlying medical condition, maybe you've not just spoken to the right advisor who can help you to look at the whole market, to look at the right provider that can give you such protection. If your underlying medical condition will not allow you to get some policies. And of course, the other one we talked about is that insurance will not pay claims. Of course, we now know that insurance pay claims. As a matter of fact, insurance pay claims. From my own life experience, I've seen a provider, in fact, that did investigation by exhuming the body of a dead man to establish, reason why they should pay the claim. And because of this scientific application, the insurance company eventually paid the claim. And this claim was, of course, the family themselves denied themselves that they were not going to make the claim. How did it happen? The director of the company was in a dinner, with another director, and they were talking about this particular person that, this family spoke, that they will not, don't worry, don't say no to yourself. Let us be the one to say no to you. And when they submitted the claim, the company investigated with the police. And of course, with the various signs that to establish the date of death of this person, so know maybe they are coverable or not. And the claim was paid to the family. Insurance company look for reason to pay claim. And the common challenge or around aspect of not paying claim is that there are a lot of people in this world that they are organized criminals. So the criminals, of course, has infiltrated the insurance industry as client and me, not as provider, in the sense that they make fraudulent claims. So you as an individual, the onus is on you. It's your responsibility to prove to the insurance company that your claim is genuine and your claim is not, of course, a criminal organization claim. And another factor is that I'm new in this country. I don't have indefinite stay to remain. I don't have a British passport, then I can't take protection. That is not really true as well, because a lot of products that are available to you, so far you stay in this country legally and you spend some time, like 6 months in this country, and they can have access, you have a GP, there are some products you can take. There are some products, of course, like income protection, that you might need to kind of work for at least 2 years and have a GP in the country for 2 years before you can apply for such. But notwithstanding, you are still able to get products. And, another aspect about financial service, which is mortgage, because I don't know if the time will permit us to talk about mortgage later. I've seen a lot of people thinking that, wow, I cannot get a mortgage because I'm not a British citizen. I don't have it evidently. That is not also true. Speak to a mortgage broker. There are a lot of providers out there that can help you to secure the right mortgage for yourself. Every lender is looking for customers. You are a customer. It's a business. So just the way you are looking for your mortgage, the banks or the financial service organization, they're also looking for customers. And there are some mortgage lenders out there that they have specialist products for people in that category. And I think I'm going to stop it because of time, but no matter what is your belief or the reason why you're not taking insurance, it's not good enough to say that you don't love your family or you don't love the people that depends on you financially. Because if you allow anything to stop you from showing your love to the people that you love, that means your love for them is not genuine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for educating us since the past hour on the space. Really loving it. I mean, I've been noting quite a few points myself. So, guys, we joined on the space. Thank you, everybody, who joined on the space. So, I also want to tell us, please, the space itself is sponsored by Lemfi. I'm sure we all know Lemfi. If you go on the space to see the handle, please let's follow them on Twitter. Let's follow them on Instagram. You can also sign up with Use Lemfi using the referral code NIUK to start a lot of seamless transactions today. So, or you can also make you experience hassle-free international money transfers and supports our community by using the NIUK referral code itself. Let's make sending money home easier than ever. So we're going to be talking more about Use Lemfi. And of course, I want to say a big thank you to them for always supporting the NIK community and one of our official partners for the NIK community as well. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, we're going to be having a space called Unlocking Opportunities in the NHS. A lot of people now come to been having issues when it comes to jobs, application, NHS stuff. And maybe like it or not, there's a lot of positives with NHS. And the good news with NHS is if you get in there, it's almost like a breakthrough for you. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow evening, 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, unlocking opportunities in the NHS from application to interviews. Some of our wonderful mentors in the community, like of Sister Buki of APBM, or SK, one was the event planning manager of the NIK community, will also be, both of them will be hosting the space tomorrow, educate and enlighten of our community members. So please make sure you're part of this space tomorrow, unlocking opportunities in the NHS from application to interview. So on Saturday and Sunday this weekend coming, we're going to be having a Nigerian Trade Fair in London with amazing Nelly coming all the way from Nigeria. Loads of people coming. The Nigerian Embassy will be at the Trade Fair. Fly APs will be at the Trade Fair. NIK community will also be at the Nigerian Trade Fair in London itself on the 17th and 18th of August. So please make sure you're part of it. If you're going to Jumbotron, I'll put some of the details on there, and we can all, come on board and educate ourselves. The admission to trade fair is going to be Intercontinental Hotel in London. It's going to be free, so you have nothing to worry about. Just turn up there, support Nigerian vendors. I'll tell time myself. So yeah, let's keep this space up and running. So thank you very much, Mr. Festus, for listening. So my other question to you, sir, will be, someone like you who's been there, done it all. I mean, there's a lot of investment opportunities available to people. The truth is that we have a lot of people in our community who actually have money in their banks. They don't have a clue what they want to do. People reach out to me so many times and they're no longer, should I buy a house? Should I start a business? What can I do? People are confused. And a lot of our people don't have the right direction. So what kind of investment opportunities are available to people who have money just sitting in banks and unsure what to do? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are not sure. Like you talk about indefinite leave to remain in the UK and the British passport. A lot of people are scared because some people feel like, because I'm on a visa, I'm limited to certain things. There's a gentleman, I think a couple of months ago, he said about maybe £10,000 and he didn't even know what to do. He's always working, but he's saving money. But then he didn't have what to do. So as far as it's concerned, because he was on a tier 2 visa, he was scared and stuff. He didn't know. So what kind of investment opportunities would you say to that people can maybe push them to that next level? Because a lot of people have come here, they're confused. They've been working, saving money, and maybe they've been there for a couple of months, a year down the line. And the truth is they also want to move to that next level. So maybe start their own business. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in our community that, they're not really sure the next level. So what would be your advice to anyone who wants to invest? People who have a bit of extra funds in their bank and they're clueless what to do. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. President. In terms of advice or options of investment opportunities, there are a lot of them in this country. And I want to say this again, I am not offering financial advice, of course, on this platform. If you need one, speak to a qualified financial advisor who can help you to kind of course, channel your fund appropriately. And at the same time, of course, your money can be lost as well in any form of investment that you engage in. So about your question, Mr. President, there are many options available. It's not just only about the options. We should also talk about the principle that guide the option that you choose. As a financial advisor myself, that I advise on wealth management or investment options available. The first thing you want to do as a person before you can even put your money away is that you want to be sure that the body that you are working with or the organization you are working with, they are regulated. Because a lot of people in the past, they've lost their money by just working or investing with unknown organization, with a very viable organization that are not regulated. And that means if there's a loss or potential loss or any kind of malpractice, you are at the mercy of them. That is to say, the government will not be able to help you to protect you. And apart from that, the fundamental principle about investment is about what is your purpose? What is the purpose of your investment? Why do you want to invest? Is it that you want to kind of make sure this money grows, or you want to kind of, start a little savings gradually so that the money can be invested or used to purchase maybe your first home, that kind of an example. And it might not only be that, it might be because of the future of your children, or you want to kind of start, maybe you are started worried about the inheritance tax, that you want to put some of this money to kind of mitigate against the inheritance tax in the future. So there are many reasons why people invest. So number one is your objective that will determine the kind of investment that you want to put your money into. And not only that, the size and the value of the fund that you have. For example, now, if your fund value is quite low, like the example of 10,000 you are talking about, maybe a financial advisor might not be the best option for you, because in the sense that you are going to pay a charge. You know, the advisor, they charge a fee to give you advice on how and the best way to put your money away. Notwithstanding, of course, you can still seek advice from a financial advisor who can help you, to kind of guide you in that direction. So in this country, there are many options in a very tax-efficient way. And I'm going to start by talking about pension briefly. Pension is a very lucrative form of investment for any individual to maximize in this country, in the sense that it is extremely tax efficient. But the factor, of course, is that you have to understand the way this pension work. And you can do a bit of reading about pension, but the best way to go is to seek advice from a financial advisor who can guide you in terms of the best way to put your pension, because pension is a wrapper. When I use the word wrapper in investment world, is that you have your sweet. Your sweet is your money. You know that wrapper they use to wrap sweet? That is what is covering your money, or protecting your money, or giving identity to that kind of money. So any money invested in the pension platform has the identity of a pension identity. And what is the benefit of paying money to pension? I'm going to say it in a very single word. The government of this country, of course, their philosophy is that any money you pay tax on should not be invested into your pension. And that basically means that either you are doing a direct contribution or through your employer, whatever form of pension you contribute, that is, you get a tax relief or a tax rebate. So that means automatically when you are investing your money into pension, you are getting about 20% relief on tax that you paid on the money automatically as part of your wealth, apart from the national growth of such investment. That is free money for you in a way. And if you're a higher taxpayer or additional taxpayer, of course, you can claim a rebate on the tax when you are doing your tax return with your accountant, either you're employed or self-employed. So there are many smart ways of maximizing this option of investment opportunity. Using pension to maximize your money, to save yourself from tax, liability, because tax avoidance, of course, is legal, but tax evasion is a criminal offense. Of course, do not evade tax, but you can use the law to avoid paying tax unnecessarily. That is my one option. The second option is about ISA, either stock and share ISA or the lifetime ISA, which is available to people under the age of 40. If you are a first-time buyer that you want to buy a property, it might be something you want to consider to kind of set up a LISA, a lifetime ISA, where you can also get a relief on that when you are buying your first property from the government. But if you're over 40, of course, it's too late. You cannot keep more than one ISA in a year. So the benefit of ISA, either LISA or the ISA or stock and shares, anything that has the wrapper or the identity of an ISA basically means that any growth in such fund basically means that you are paying them tax-free. So that means if you invest in your ISA constantly every single year, at the point of retirement, all the money, all the growth is tax-free. What is better than that? So that means you pay no tax, no capital gain tax, no any income tax on the money that you withdraw from your ISA. And for the LISA option, of course, you get a rebate from the government, to help you if you're a first-time buyer, if you are still under the age of 40. And of course, there are bonds and there are general investment options that are available, mutual fund, there are a lot of funds available, and of course, real estate. People talk about real estate from the point of a buy-to-let property portfolio. And as a matter of fact, one of the quickest way to kind of harness wealth for yourself, if you are very smart, is to invest in real estate. But you will need advice and guidance in achieving all these objectives. So in overall, I think the first part is about we need to be financially intelligent about our money. Because when you put your money in a bank account, the money is actually losing value. 100,000 pounds in your bank account today, by the time you give it another 1 or 5 years, the money has actually dropped significantly in value. So it is wise to put your money in all this form of investment or where the money can grow, particularly at least minimum, against the inflation rate. So that is where I'm going to stop, Mr. President. But my advice to people is this: if you have any money to invest, seek financial advice. And another secret that we need to know is this: financial advice is not really expensive. As a matter of principle, if you deal with a very good one, if they're not able to make money for you or to save you money from tax, they don't have the right to charge you. So that means if they are charging you, that means they are, of course, helping you to grow your money. And not only that, they are also saving you money on tax. Because if you don't invest this money, the taxman will take the money from you. And not just to invest this money, you want to invest in a very tax-efficient way that you pay less tax on the money where you are investing. And when you are getting the money, that is at the point of the accumulation of your wealth, you're also taking it in a tax-efficient way. So it is not just wise to invest money, without understanding why you are investing, which is objective, even without even knowing yourself. That is your attitude towards risk, your perception about risk. So if you just put your money into investment, do you know yourself? You need to establish your attitude to risk. And not only that, you need to understand your capacity for loss. I can't remember if it was the platform. I was in another private platform earlier. It's not just because somebody is doing this, I want to do it as well. It's always good to do it right way, in the right way, so that you don't, of course, lose your money or pay unnecessary tax that can be avoided. So my recommendation, seek financial advice. The first or initial consultation is almost always free. And you can get what you need if you don't have substantial fund to invest. Of course, at least you can have an understanding of where you want to go or where you want to kind of build your wealth, if it's something you want to consider. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Festus. That was deep. So I see people have started booking appointments already. Thank you so much. Please, this is an opportunity. It's a free consultation. If you want to know more about how to take up a policy, you want to know more about the policy covers, please, on my bio, there's a link. Click on the link, book an appointment with me, or you can DM me privately. That is fine. And just to add my voice to what Mr. President said for tomorrow's space about the NHS, an elderly person said to me, one of the regrets I have in my life is not picking up NHS pension. And you heard Mr. Festus, pension is a very good way of investing. So please make yourself available for the space tomorrow as well. I see some people have questions. Please, if you have a question, please unmute yourself. I'm not sure I can see the hand up.
Yeah, Mr. Max 07, go ahead, please. Mike says, go ahead, please. Mr. Maxi? Okay, maybe he's not there. Okay.
Yeah, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Happy Sunday. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have two questions. Yeah, one is for our insurance people, and the other one is for it might be a bit out of place, but I still want to ask it. First of all, my name is Emeka. Forget about that Maxi you are saying there. My name is Emeka, and I've been a member of this place, not a financial member actually. Now, let me go straight to the point. Before coming to the UK, I worked as a financial advisor myself. 5 years in insurance, 4 years in the bank before coming here. And can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Emeka, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Now, before I left Nigeria, the last position I had was an annuity salesperson, annuity sales manager before leaving Nigeria. My question to the Oga and the other lady is, do we have any annuity plans for people over here? Do we have an annuity plan? Is this something I could discuss with somebody? That is number one. MC, there's something you raised concerning our payments and GoFundMe and so on and so forth. Now, my question is, the reason why £12, which is £1 every month for us, is very small and normal. It looks okay for almost 20,000 of us to pay. But the reason why personally I've not been able to pay that, or I've not paid that money, is that nobody have really explained to us, or maybe I wasn't in the maybe a space during the conversation. My question is, what are our plans? What are we planning, or what are we doing with these funds that we're using to register, or we're paying every year or every month? I need somebody to stipulate that fact, because I feel like a situation where we lose members, we could also use this fund to support them instead of using GoFundMe. These are some of the suggestions. Somebody raised something the last time about building hospital in Nigeria. Some of us said, instead of building hospital in Nigeria, why don't we invest it here and be collecting funds? What are we doing? That's my question. If you times 12 times, let's say 15,000 people in 1 year, that's a lot of money that we could use for something. And that is the reason, because I've not seen a stipulated plan. That's the reason why I have not been able to pay that money, because I need to know what I'm paying this money for. What are we using it for? So these are just the two questions. One is for you and one is for my insurance people. So that's basically that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Emeka. Mr. Festus, just go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question, Mr. Emeka. And I will take the first one about do we have annuity plans in the UK? And I want to be very careful the way I answer the question, because I've spoken to a lot of people that, of course, relocated from Nigeria, and I have a bit of knowledge of the market in Nigeria. That the product that I offer in Nigeria are cashback plans, where you get your money back if nothing happened to you, like a form of investment. When it comes to insurance in the UK, that is not available. But annuity is available in the UK in form of a pension. When you retire, you can convert your pension after drawdown into annuity form of investment. The product is available in the market because they used to be in the market until the government, due to the FCA regulation, of course, eradicated that. And as a matter of fact, I remember then the last time I personally advised on this kind of cashback plan was in 2008, in the middle of the financial crisis, because the cashback plan product is like you are paying for investment and insurance as well. And by the terms and conditions of these policies, that basically means the client should default in the payment of the policies based on experience or what happened in the past. Whatever they pay in the past is gone forever, which, of course, that does not really treat customer fairly. And consumer duty, of course, is totally against that. That was why the FCA, of course, stopped those products in the UK then. But if you have the products in the past, you can still continuously maintain the product. But in terms of now, if you want to start afresh, it's not available in the market at the moment anymore. But however, if it's related to kind of pension, retirement planning, you can still convert your when you crystallize your pension, convert it to annuity, where it gives you a continuous income for the rest of your life. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Emeka. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, Mr. Festus. So your second question, Mr. Maker. So we've said it so many times on our spaces. So what we're going to be doing also on the website, we're going to be having a FAQ. FAQ be the answers, questions, and answer for people can go on the website, which is the nikcommunity.com website to read about things. Secondly, we're going to be having a space on the 25th of August in 2 weeks' time, Sunday. The Financial Secretary of the Community, Violet, will be on the space. She'll be hosting the space. The space itself, we're talking about financial deals, auditing, and other expenses of the community. So the plan is that every quarterly we'll be doing an accounting and everything. So we've said it so many times about what we're going to do this for. And of course, there's no way we can move forward as a community without the right funding. You also talked about, the £12 a year was small, which is £1 a month. I can tell you that some people are still complaining about that £12 a year. And this is one of the reasons why we cannot move forward as a community. When people are talking about, the slightest of issues whereby there's no way we can grow together without right funding. The 20,000 members I talk about in the community, the £12 a year, by the way, is voluntary, is not compulsory, is voluntary. It's for you to support the community. But what I'm going to tell people is nobody knows tomorrow. You might think, your life is great today and stuff. You never can tell what's going to happen tomorrow. That whereby you're going to come to the community and ask for help and need support. You can't expect people to come to give you some other people's money who are supporting the community. It's impossible. It's not going to work that way. So you're paying that £12 a year, which works at £1 a month. It shouldn't be a big deal for any reasonable person who also believes in a community. But we're going to have this discussion on the 25th of August in 2 weeks' time. The Financial Secretary of the Community, who will handle the financial, I don't have access to the funds. She's the only person who has an SK who talks about the finances, the event, and everything. We're going to talk about it on the 25th, and then we can take it from there. And you hear from her as well, who will tell you more about everything in general. But yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Meka. Sister Aris, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emeka and President and Mr. Festus for answering that question. Does anyone else, if you have a question, please signify and you will be called. Mr. Festus, are there policies that children can also benefit from? Because we have a lot of young parents here with young children.
Okay, thank you very much. There are many policies like add-on or optional benefit added to policies, or they could also be core benefit of the policies. Let's start with a very common one, which under the accident protection. For example, now we know the children are more active than the adults. They play a lot in the garden and even in school. So injury to young children is very common. So under accident protection, the children are covered under that policy, and whatever you pay as premium is as little as nothing, compared to the benefits that covered all children under your, of course, parenthood. That is to say, adopted children or stepchildren. So far they live in this country, they'll be covered under such a policy. For example, now, for hospitalization benefit, in case they are admitted in the hospital, they get paid. For example, cancer benefits, if they are diagnosed of cancer, they are paid. Accidental death, like all the aspects of the policy the adults are covered for under the accident protection, for example, they are covered. And critical illness in the UK is now becoming very common that children are covered under the critical illness cover. But some providers, they give you that child cover automatically as part of your product, while some we expect you to pay additional premium for that. And that means you could get up to 50% of your benefit, or £25,000, depending on the provider, of course, that you are choosing your product from. So the children can be covered under the critical illness cover if the parent or the guardian, whoever responsible for such a child, can be covered. And some provider does not really limit the cover to your children that live in the UK. Let's say, for example, now you have a critical illness cover with some few providers that I know of, very sure, because I cannot mention providers' name or give advice, and they will cover your children anywhere they live in the country, anywhere they live in the world. Provided you can actually evidence that these are my children, biological children. So that is, you have the legal parent right about such a child. And there are some other elements of coverage, even from infant. I mean, when your pregnancy, that is, when the baby is still in the tummy of the mother, they are covered, with some providers under the child cover benefit of some insurance providers. So the best way to maximize this, if you have a child or if you are a parent that you want your children to be covered, of course, you need to speak to a financial advisor or a protection advisor to kind of talk about those various options or benefit that are available. And there's a provider, there's a new program that you can actually take solely for your children, that cover them on various, injury and even some, critical illness condition that, of course, do happen. And according to Cancer Research UK, of course, children now, they also have cancer. And some of my, clients are big claim on this, unfortunately. These are reality of life. No parent want their children to, of course, suffer from any of these things. But the fact is that when you are looking after these children when they are unwell, that means you won't be able to work. And not only that, you might lose your income during that process while you are looking after your children. So that means the bill has to be paid. And then you need something, to augment your finances in order not to be exposed financially, because you are looking after your children. And you don't want to kind of be a kind of parent that is not caring that when your child is unwell, you are still going to work. So there are products out there that can actually protect the children. Thank you. In fact, I think I missed a lot of other aspects. There are some products we pay for medical treatment abroad. There are some free GP services for family, not just the children. So there are a lot of products that are add-on or they're automatically part of your core benefit of having this insurance. In fact, there are some providers for income protection, they give you free physio treatment. That is unbelievable. And a lot of things that you don't really pay for are part of the product that you are paying for just because you have the product. And there are some providers, just because you are a client of that provider, there are some elements of free services like the GP services that is available to the family. I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much.
Spot on. Thank you very much, sir. So guys, we're going to be running out of space soon. If you want to ask any question, please request for the mic and we can ask our expert the question. Mr. Lufemi, happy Sunday, sir. Good evening. The mic is yours, sir. Mr. Lufemi, you have to meet your mic.
Good evening. Good evening,
go ahead,
everyone. I just want to talk about the pension scheme Mr. Festus talked about. My company, I just want to cite an example. I've got this contributory pension which I'm into, and then the company also my employer also pays his own their own contributory part of it. But when I checked from the what's it called now, the pension company, when I checked on my own application, I discovered that the company has not been paying what is expected of them to pay as their own contributory part. On that note, can I go to my manager and also make a complaint to let them know that, on my pay slip every month, I see what they said they've contributed. But when I check on my app, on the company's pension, I don't get the same amount. And also, I want to ask, at what point can I make a withdrawal from my contributory from my?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Olufemi, for your question. The first part of your question that you've not been able to see your contribution from your employer, by the pension, fund that your money is. That might be possible because it depends on the kind of, pension that your employer are contributing to. Maybe it's a defined contribution or it's a defined benefit pension. If it's a defined benefit pension, probably come up with the government establishment, of course, that may not be reflected because annually there's what you call, deemed benefit, where they're going to do the calculation to give you the deemed value of your pension. And like you said, I think you're on the right path, or speaking to your manager or speaking to your HR, maybe there's just a clarification, or it could be admin error. If your pay slip or if there's any information to show that they are contributing the percentage they should be contributing, it could be an admin error. I think you can actually address that internally by looking into the reason why it is not showing. And they are the best person to give you the answer, accurate answer about what has happened. And on the second question, that at what age can you cash on your pension? That is one of the factors of course, you have to know what you are getting yourself involved before you do that. Currently in the UK, which might change from time to time, based on the changes in law of the land, for you to be able to retire or to cash in your pension, you must at least be 55 years old in the country at the moment, based on the current, climate. So that means any money that goes into your pension, you cannot have access to them until you are at a pensionable age or a retirement pensionable age set by law, which is 55 years. So anything from 55 years and above, you can cash down on your pension, which of course you can consider other options, which you can get 25% of the money in the fund, up to 25% cash tax-free, and the other 75% you pay tax on it if you want to cash them as a lump sum, or you want to kind of convert them to annuity, or you want to do other options of crystalline your pension. So the answer is that you have to be 55 years old. However, there's an exemption that you can actually get your pension before 55 if it's due to the fact that you are seriously unwell or due to disability that previous cannot work anymore. So if medical condition or injury will lead to early retirement, the government will approve, individual to cash on their pension before the age of 55. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. So, guys, we've been on this in the past 2 hours. So I want to say a big thank you to our guest speaker this evening, Mr. Festus Arishe himself. Glad to have you on board, and thank you for educating us and enlightening us on all different issues regarding essentials of financial security and intelligence in the UK. So, and of course, we're definitely looking forward to have you back on our spaces whenever you're ready. Glad to have you on board as well. Also want to say a big thank you to the speakers and also all the listeners on the space this evening. I'm just going to give the mic to Sister Arita to give us our closing remarks in place.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. President, for what you're doing for the community. This is a great one, and the Lord continue to bless you and uphold you and increase our community. I see other communities are very strong, and I see our community even being stronger. Thank you for what you're doing. We are all behind you. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has joined the space, and especially those that are beginning to take action by booking appointment already. A lot of people have started taking action by booking appointment already. This is one of the best decisions you can do for yourself and take for yourself and for your loved ones. Thank you. And I would like to hand over back to Mr. Oluomo. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Starry. Thank you for that. Our guest speaker, Mr. Festus. Thank you, sir. Your closing remarks, please, sir.
To start with, I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Olomo, and the president, and of course the organizers of this event. It's been a great honor. I'm privileged to share my knowledge, and to give information to our people. And I want to thank you for all the listeners. Please, take advantage of this opportunity, because when we hear things like this and we don't take action, it's a waste of time to everybody. And I want to assure you that it is very possible to achieve your financial goals. It is very possible to be successful in this country, but we need to work with professionals who can guide us in this particular journey. I've been doing this for almost 2 decades in offering financial advice to people, and I love it. I love it so much because it's my lifestyle. And I'm very sure there are a lot of advisors out there who do the same thing and who are happy to help you to achieve your financial goal. Please don't be ashamed or don't be too busy, to seek financial advice in making decisions to secure the future of your family. And of course, at the end of the day, everybody, all of us, we see ourselves across the other side of being financially secured when we begin to enjoy our wealth. Thank you very much for having me, Mr. President. And hopefully, of course, in the nearest future, I would love to be part of a program like this again. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Festus. I'm glad to have you on board. We're grateful for you to honor our invitation at all time. Also, a big thank you on behalf of the community to Sister Ari to organizing this wonderful space, bring everybody to get on board. Also, guys, please go on the website, NIUK community websites, for you to find the upcoming events, anything coming up in the next few weeks regarding the community. Just go on the website, you get the latest information about it. Also, please follow Lemonade. Lemonade is also the sponsor of this space this evening. And of course, we're doing a lot of work with Lemonade, one of the official sponsor for the NIK community, Use Lemfi, and also one of our official partners for the NIK community. So please follow Use Lemfi, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram, put a notification on, and so many things you guys will achieve as well. Tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock, we're going to be having a space called Unlocking Our Opportunity in the NHS next week, tomorrow, which is a new week itself, 8 o'clock. So from application to interview, whatever process you're going through, please make sure you're in that space. Very, very important. A lot of our members in our community are looking for jobs. A lot of our members in our community want to find a better job. So this is important for you, because this space is not going to hold many a lot of times. So the likes of Sister Buki of APBM, who's a manager with NHS for many, many years. The wonderful brother SK will also be in the space. Both of them will be hosting the space tomorrow. We have some guest speakers with NHS as well, with HR and stuff. We're going to be educating us tomorrow evening about application and interviews when it comes to NHS itself. On Saturday and Sunday this week coming, which is 17th and 18th of August, we're going to be having a Nigerian trade fair in London, Intercontinental Hotel London, called Niger Trade Fair. Please make sure you're there. Come and support the Nigerian trade fair opportunity. A lot of vendors coming all over the UK. A lot of people are coming from Nigeria for the event as well. The Nigerian embassy will have a stand. NIK Committee will also have a stand itself. Fly Episodes also have a stand. So many, many other vendors will be there. I'm going to be there myself, live and direct by God's grace, on Saturday and Sunday, supporting a wonderful Nelly coming over from Nigeria for the Nigerian Trade Fair itself in London itself. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody who joined the space. Let's enjoy the rest of our event and wish everybody a blessed week that we're going to get into this week. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody. And of course, the space is recorded, so please you can also listen to it again, back and back again. Essentials of financial security and intelligence. Our guest speaker talked about income protection. He talked about life insurance. So many, many things we've learned from, and we have to get things right. As a community, it makes me sad sometimes when we lose people. We have to raise GoFundMe. We're running back and forth to make sure we give this person a befitting burial. But guess what? With the life insurance policy in place, it gives everybody the rest of mind that yes, this person, they're in a better place, and of course they're also secured. And giving your family unnecessary headaches back and forth. But we have to keep on pushing it out there to our people, because it's not easy to do with Nigerians. So sometimes me, I will live longer. I'm not saying no one's gonna live, but at least let's do the needful before it's too late. At the end of the day, nobody knows tomorrow. There's a lot of conversation we're going to have again. I'm glad to have our guest speaker, Mr. Festus, one of invitation, and of course, maybe a couple of weeks down the line, we have him back on our spaces to talk about more other issues. And of course, when it comes to finances in the community and educating us as a Nigerian community in the UK, what can we do best? Investing and learning as well to make sure we are comfortable in only two ways. All fingers are not equal, but at least let's push ourselves, because listen, information is the key. SK always talk about gov.uk is like a Bible in the UK here. Information is the key. A lot of our people don't have the right information. That is why we're not making progress. But with the right information, people like Mr. Festus coming on board, educating that. In fact, some of the things you've said, I've written down, learned one or two things myself. Oh, wow, okay. This is how this thing is done. And that is it. So life is all about learning every day, no matter who you are, no matter what it is, nobody knows it all. We're here to learn and better ourselves and, of course, have impact in our community. Just like our community motto says, we win together, we connect to one another, and, of course, support each other as one big Nigerian family in diaspora. Thank you, Asitaris. Thank you, our guest speaker, Mr. Festus. Thanks to all the listeners who joined us this evening. Take care for now. Goodbye for now. And God bless every one of us. God bless Nigeria and God bless the Nike community. Have a blessed week, guys. Take care. Goodbye for now. Thank you. Bye. Bye.